Well, tonight we are learning disturbing new information in a case where two children were found dead in the trunk of a car following a traffic stop in Baltimore County. Their aunt is now facing charges, and court documents reveal gruesome details. WJZ is live at District Court in Towson. Avajoy Burnett has those details, and we do want to warn you, they are graphic. Avajoy.
Denise, good afternoon to you. Well, Baltimore County Police are saying this all started from a traffic stop when the suspect was speeding. They say when they pulled that person over, they smelled an odor, and that's when they found the two kids in the trunk. 33-year-old Nicole Johnson faces several charges, including 2 counts of child abuse that resulted in the death of 2 children under 13. Baltimore County Police say an officer pulled Johnson over late Wednesday night, and when the officer told her that the car had to be towed because the tags were fake, the officer detected the unmistakable odor of decomposition. At one point, the officer even noticed that the clear bag contained maggots inside. According to the department, after repeated requests from the officer, Johnson removed the blanket, exposing the decomposing body of a young child. And after a search, officers found a plastic bag that was tied up. The bag was opened, revealing another decomposing body of a young child. Police say those kids were her 7-year-old niece, Jocelyn Johnson, and her 5-year-old nephew, Larry O'Neill.
Did anybody ever ask, where's Jocelyn? Where's Larry? Where the parents at? And I'm not letting this woman off the hook at all. She's the aunt from your nightmares. This is literally like a horror flick. She's riding around with these kids for like a year. My thing is, where's the cousin that was like, hey, anybody seen Jocelyn in a while? Where's the teacher? Hey, I ain't seen Larry in a minute. Just odd that these kids could be missing for that long in this woman's trunk of her car for that long, and she's riding around on fake tags for a year. It didn't get pulled over, but she black. How did that happen? Because when you ride down the street, all you see is black people pulled over on the side of the road getting jacked up, right? Oh, that's not what you see. You almost never see a black person pulled over. Oh. There are 350 million people in this country. Oh. Even if every cop spent all day locking up, pulling black people over, you'd probably never see it, right? Oh. So this woman rode around with fake tags with 2 dead bodies in the trunk for a year before she was discovered. White liberals, this is the black experience. Not what happened to George Floyd. This is the black experience. Riding around for a year with dead tags and never getting pulled over. That's the black experience.
And after a search, officers found a plastic bag that was tied up. The bag was opened, revealing another decomposing body of a young child. Police say those kids were her 7-year-old niece, Jocelyn Johnson, and her 5-year-old nephew, Larry O'Neill. Johnson told police she was taking care of the kids because their mother wasn't able to. But the mom told police she tried to get her kids back, and in March of 2021, she arranged to have the children returned, but the defendant never showed. According to the documents, the little girl may have been dead since last year. The aunt told police that in May of 2020, when they were staying at an inn off Pulaski Highway, she hit the little girl, and the girl fell and hit her head. Johnson described placing her niece inside a suitcase and carrying her around in a car for many months. And according to the documents, Johnson also told police that the little boy had an injury about 2 months ago, and he never woke up, and that she placed his deceased body in the plastic tote and kept him in the trunk with his sister. Johnson remains in jail with no bond. And according to those court documents, when the autopsy was done, that 7-year-old girl weighed 18 pounds, the 5-year-old boy weighed 21 pounds. The official cause of death has not been revealed just yet.
The 7-year-old girl weighed 18 pounds. I mean, this woman wasn't feeding those kids. Those kids had, oh my God. Okay, so let's get a little bit deeper into this story. The traffic stop was nearly finished, but the Maryland officer asked the woman driving if she needed to grab any belongings before her car was towed, police said. So think about this. Had this woman just been like, nah, I don't need to get nothing out, or had this officer not been cool, to ask her did she need to get anything out, and she just was like, all right, she was just a seasoned criminal, just like, oh, they about to tow it, all right, I'm out, all right, yeah, go ahead, tow it. And they towed it, and they took it to the place where they take cars in Baltimore. I know in DC, where they take the cars, they tow it, they tow your car to, it's like on the edge of town, and it's a big old massive expansive lot, and your car just be there until you can come pick it up, till you pay your tickets or whatever, or you get your tags straight. And this woman would have gotten away with it for a period of time, until maybe somebody opens the trunk, or somebody smells the foul odor after a while, and they put one and one together, and then they go find her. But she could have gotten away this day. And I'm harping on this because this whole notion that when you're black and you drive and you gotta be on your tippy toes, everything gotta be proper, nothing could be further from the truth. This woman riding around with dead tags and bodies in the trunk. And you think this woman was scared of getting pulled over? She probably was shocked when she got pulled over. And then when she got pulled over, she didn't get searched. Obviously, they just towed her car because her tags was fake and let her go. It was going to let her go. And that's how it happens. Unless you got drugs, they smell some weed or something, or they smell some PCP, or they see something in plain sight, and then they investigate a little further. But if you're just driving around on dead tags, they might even tell you just park it. You gotta park the car right there or something like that, and you gotta fake walk off and then come back a couple hours later and pick your car up. This whole notion, it's just annoying, especially being somebody who's been around, N-words. I'm not talking about Steve Urkel and whatnot. I'm talking about N-words a lot for a period of my life, and knowing how they roll, how they ride. You could ride, man. They ain't tripping off that. When you leave the house, you tripping off, and so you gonna get into some problem with some sunmen. Cause you gonna go somewhere and some sunman gonna start some problems. Or, if you see the police, and you're dirty, yes, you may, oh, dang, they go to police, man. Oh, man, you might sit up straight. You might, act like you don't slow down to the speed limit. You know what I mean? You might even do something because you're so nervous that, you might mess up and do some traffic violation because you're so nervous because you see the police. That actually warrants them to pull you. But 9 times out of 10, in these neighborhoods where all these people getting murdered and whatnot, and drugs being sold, the police are stretched so thin that they don't have time for this stuff. And when they do, they usually catch somebody with some drugs or bodies in the trunk or something like this. So I just want to make sure that people understand that. People that listen to this whole BLM from these college educated, basically nerds. Like, it ain't that bad, man. We all right out here, man. A traffic stop was nearly finished, but the Maryland officer asked the woman driving if she needed to grab any belongings before her car was towed, police said. Then came the harrowing discovery. Nicole Johnson, 33, had been caught speeding through on Wednesday with a fake temporary paper tag. No insurance, no registration. According to a probable cause statement obtained by WBAL radio, the officer gave her a citation and informed Johnson she needed to appear in court in 5 days. Then she said, "It don't matter. I won't be here in 5 days. Y'all going to see me on the news. Y'all going to see me on the news making my big debut." When she opened the trunk, the officer smelled the unmistakable odor of decomposition, and Johnson replied the blankets were filthy from living in the car, and probable cause statement said. Now here's the thing. If she was really trying to get away, she might have just wanted to get caught. Because if she really wanted to get away, she'd have just been like, nah, just take the car. And she would have never showed up for a citation in court. She just bailed on that. But then they probably would have, I don't know if they do bench warrants for citations, but whatever. She must have wanted to get caught. But the officer was certain something dead was inside her bags and asked Johnson to open them. Using a blanket, Johnson tried to hide the contents of a suitcase while her back was turned to the officer, according to the probable cause statement. But eventually, she opened the bag to reveal the decomposing body of a young child. Another child was found in a bag after homicide detectives arrived. The children were identified as siblings, 5-year-old Larry O'Neill and 7-year-old Jocelyn Johnson. And I bet you the mother, the biological mother, this is what they be talking about when people like, Simone Biles and Sha'Carri Richardson, when they talk about their biological mother, that's what they talking about. I bet their biological mother got a different last name. Because you see the two kids got different last names. I bet the biological mother got another name. Her name probably Harris or John or Jones or something like that. So Larry O'Neill, 5-year-old Larry O'Neill and 7-year-old Jocelyn Johnson. And them kids weighed, 18 pounds? The children's mother told detectives she entrusted Johnson, her sister, to care for her kids after the family moved to Maryland from Ohio in July of 2019 because she was unable to care for them. Their mother said she attempted to contact Johnson numerous times and arranged to have the children returned in March, but her sister didn't show. Nicole Johnson told detectives she was at a motel in Baltimore in May of 2020 when she hit Jocelyn several times for taking her things and misbehaving, as her brother slept, according to the probable cause statement, and put the girl in a suitcase for many months while driving around. She said Larry died about 2 months ago after He told Johnson he was tired and laid in the back seat. The probable cause statement said. She recalled seeing blood on his leg but couldn't elaborate on the injury.
We got every cop in Essex out here tonight.
A traffic stop turned crime scene as the decaying bodies of a 7-year-old girl and 5-year-old boy.
Man, why this dude got the meanest lisp I ever heard on a news anchor, man? The hell?
Cop in Essex out here tonight.
A traffic stop turned crime scene as the decaying bodies of a 7-year-old girl and 5-year-old boy were found inside the trunk of a car in Essex Wednesday night. Their aunt, Nicole Johnson, who was behind the wheel, now behind bars.
It angers me that there still must have been people around them to see these kids get malnourished and get smaller and smaller and weaker.
Now, this happens in all communities. You see this is something that just people do. I don't want to put this on Sun people. We did a story, a few years ago, a white couple, I think in California, white LGBT couple, 2 females. They adopted like 6 Sun kids and like malnourished them and then rode off the side of the highway into the ocean with them all in the car. But before they ultimately died, they were very malnourished. I did a story on that. I think it was 2-3 years ago, whatever. And there's so many stories. I see this when I'm scanning the news. This happens a lot. Kids get malnourished, and it's like the neighbors are like, "Yeah, we saw them every once in a while, but the parents seem nice, but you never saw the kids." And it's like, kids are like 13 and 14, weighing like 40 pounds and whatnot, and nobody calls anybody. Nobody calls the people. Mind their business when it comes to kids and stuff like that. A lot of people just mind their business, and this is something that happens in all communities. I don't want to make this a Sun thing. This is Baltimore. This is, Sistah's. So it came across my desk because of that. But this is not something unique to Sun people. But I've always been amazed, like, how could all these people see these little kids, or how could a kid just be missing for that amount of time? Like, nobody asked, nobody asked to FaceTime the kids. Nobody asked because it's not like back in the days when we were coming up where, if you lived in a town over, like, that was like 1,000,000 miles away. Now you can live in China, and because of these cell phones and Duo and Zoom and all this stuff and FaceTime and Facebook, and there's no way somebody in a year should have been like, let me see Jocelyn's face. I ain't seen Jocelyn's face in a long time. Let me see my little niece's face. Put her on the phone. Put her on the, just strange, man.
It angers me that there still must have been people around them to see these kids get malnourished and get smaller and smaller and weaker.
The 33-year-old's arrest shedding light on what court documents show was a long history of child abuse that became deadly here at the Regal Inn in Rosedale. According to investigators, the suspect said they were staying here last year May when she beat her niece Jocelyn Johnson to death. And around 2 months ago, she said her nephew Larry O'Neill died. At the time of their passings, court documents show the girl was just 18 pounds, while her brother only weighed 21 pounds.
And staying in a hotel has something to do with it, because the population at these hotels, you have a lot of transients, vagabonds, misfits. I mean, these people stay there for long periods of time. It's not like everybody is in and out at a hotel, especially at a motel like this. You'll have people stay there for periods of time, months, weeks, days at a time, because they can't find, that's their shelter. That's where they live. A lot of, ladies of the night, a lot of pimps, drug dealers, addicts, just street people. But those type of people, even them, you would expect somebody to be like, that girl's 7? Hey, little girl, how old are you? I'm 7. Like, what? 18 pounds at 7? Jesus Christ. And this woman was, just the cruelty it takes to starve a child like that is just, God. This woman, and the thing about it is, we talk a lot about murderers on this channel. People who kill people. What this woman did to these children is it's terrible. But all murder is bad. All these crimes that we cover on this channel are bad. All of it's bad. All of it.
These kids were half, if not a third, of the weight they should be when they died.
A level of neglect, Adam Rosenberg says, would have been hard to ignore.
That's really noticeable.
And when the signs are clear, the child abuse specialist says it's the law to do something.
Maryland Family Law 5-705 indicates that all of us citizens, regardless of profession, we have an obligation and a duty to report child abuse and neglect when we see it.
And seeing it, then reporting it, a small effort that could save a young kid's life.
It doesn't always have to extend to the point where we pick up the phone and we're reporting at the Child Protective Services. These things can be stopped by just being a good neighbor and a good friend and saying, hey, can I help you? Is everything all right?
And tonight, there's still no word on just how the kids died. For now, we're live in Towson. I'm Trey Ward, WBAL TV 11 News.